And a very good afternoon and welcome back to the MoMac live coverage of the Otago Rally. And here we are at the final special stage of the day, Special Stage 8, which is on the streets of Dunedin. Always been a very popular stage, this one, Ross. And we've got a few cars out doing a few demonstration laps as we wait for the first car to come to the start line.
Bert Murray in one of his two RX-7s, one of the ex-Rod Millen cars. He's also got another beautifully prepared mainframe ex-Neil Allport RX-7 as well, but he's only had one on display in the square octagon last night, should I say, and he's just been doing some laps to warm the crowd up. Fantastic.
So we will still have the 00 car and the 0 car to come through before our first competitor on the stage, which is car 101, and that is Ray Wilson.
And before we get underway, we'll give you a quick rundown of the overall results, because as soon as this car finishes, the overall results disappear for half an hour. So Hayden Paddon has got a 3-minute 30-second lead, and that is over Dylan Turner. Unfortunately, Brendan Reeves has had the retirement. He's lost an alternator. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, but unfortunately any top result has disappeared, along with a few other dramas and a few other sad stories of a few other competitors. Third at the moment, only 12 seconds behind Dylan Turner is Ben Hunt. So between second and third we've got a real rally going on, and that's really good to see. Another minute. There's a couple of more demos from the Rotaries. I don't think I'll try and outshout them. So fourth overall is Phil Campbell, a minute 10 behind Ben Hunt, and behind him is Stephen Barker, which is a pretty good result on fifth for the day. Behind that is Hillswood is sixth, and then Matt Osberg is actually running seventh overall. Fantastic
Well, action aplenty here on the streets of Dunedin as they warm the crowd up, if you like, for the main cars to come through. So Hayden Paddon, of course, is registered only for the Asia Pacific Rally Championship. So obviously Dylan Turner is leading the New Zealand Championship side of the competition. And talking about the competitions, Ross, apart from the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, we also have the New Zealand Rally Championship, but there's a couple of others that are sort of hidden amongst the results. One including which is called the Pacific Championship.
I understand the Pacific Championship is run 2 rounds here, this round and the also Whangarei Rally and the International Rally of Whangarei. That's the 2 New Zealand rounds, and there's 2 rounds also running in Australia. I believe it is, let's wait for that, the Tasmania round of the Australian Championship, and also the Victorian round of the Australian Championship, which is held in Ballarat. So those 4 rounds make up a separate little trophy called the Pacific Championship. So we look forward to that. I believe Hayden's probably wanting to win that one. He's already got a pretty good foot in the door.
And of course, talking about Trans-Tasman type competition, going back many years ago, of course, they had the Tasman Cup. And Ross, you were victorious in winning the Tasman Cup a few years back.
Actually, I think you might have been with me, Grant, when we drove across to Perth, drove the rally car, drove the high ace van with the rally car on the back from Sydney to Perth, did the rally, won the cup and drove it back again.
That's right. It certainly was a fantastic trip, for sure. Driving across the Nullarbor took a long time. But anyway, here we are in Dunedin. It's a beautiful sunshiny day for the first day of the Drive South Rally Fest, and the Rally Fest, of course, incorporating the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, New Zealand Rally Championship, and the Mainland Series. So there's all comers, there's all sorts of cars here. A 127 car field, magnificent, and that is, I believe, a record entry for the Otago Rally.
Of course, they've just done Waipori stage, and the previous stage record holder was Ken Block in a WRC Ford Fiesta. That's going back a few years, that record. Obviously a very fast car. Ken Block's a pretty spectacular driver. Hayden Paddon broke that record again today, and interestingly, Ken Block holds the track record for this particular stage around the streets of Dunedin. So the time to beat is 1:29.7, so we'll keep you posted.
And of course, Hayden Paddon has broken all his own stage records this year. That Hyundai absolutely flying and putting on a spectacular display of world-class rally driving from our world-class rally driver. Wherever you're watching the live stream coverage today, we welcome you into the action. Of course, we'll be covering 3 stages tomorrow, and all of those will be full field coverage. And due to restrictions on the MoMac sponsorships and advertising, it's had to be withdrawn. So the MoMac crew are all here voluntarily putting on this magnificent live streaming coverage for you all, and they have started a GoFundMe page, and if you'd like to make a contribution towards the crew to help bring this live coverage to you over the weekend, then we would appreciate any donations to GoFundMe, and you will see the information come on screen, and you're most welcome to make a contribution towards the live coverage the guys are doing here today. And I'd like to thank our crew on the cameras today. We've got Todd, Isaac and James. Ryan from MoMac, who owns the company, is producing the coverage. Chucky is doing the editing, the live stream editing, and we couldn't put all this together without Tony, who is our technical expert wizard, who brings all these live pictures to you in New Zealand and around the world, wherever you're watching on the live streaming coverage. Tony Myers, we couldn't do without you. Thank you, mate. Alright, the 0 car, 00 car, the demonstrations are almost over, and we wait for the very first competitor to take to the Super Special here in Dunedin. And the first car up will be Ray Wilson and Donna Elder and the Audi Quattro S2 car 101. And take a close look on the side of it, you will see they are supporting the Neurological Foundation. Of course, the car's owner, Malcolm Stewart, who of course imported the fantastic Group B Audi Quattro into New Zealand in the 80s. Malcolm rallied this car in later years and very unfortunately succumbed to motor neuron disease. His wife Sue keeps the car going, the team going. Ray Wilson is driving it, and it's absolutely magic to see Ray and the Stewart rally team out and supporting the Neurological Foundation. Car 101 will be our first one on to the stages. So officially the flashing light on the 0 car is going around to make sure the course is clear, and then the first competitor will begin the stage, and there he is. You can see him on screen. That is Ray Wilson and Donna Elder in the Malcolm Stewart's car.
So yes, unfortunately there's been a few sad stories from the day. No major crashes fortunately that we know of, but one of the early retirements, which is Emma Gilmore from Dunedin, of course. Unfortunately she had a mechanical problem, but I understand that they've fixed it. She's going to be turning up here in the Suzuki Swift at the Super Stage to turn it on for the locals. Excellent, Emma. Unfortunately a couple of others, obviously Brendan Reeves we've talked about, had an alternator problem, put him out of the results, and you saw, if you were watching the last live stream from the last stage we did, you would have seen Matt Summerfield have a puncher right in front of the TV cameras, and he's lost around about 8 to 10 minutes, not exactly sure, but he's pretty much done his result as well. And it was a real shame that the jack didn't quite lift up far enough to get the wheel off the ground because of the long suspension lift, if you like, or travel. So a bit of a shame. There's a few other sad stories further down the field, and we'll try and bring them to you as we get them.
Another one of those, Ross, is very sad to see the brother and sister combination of Robbie and Amy Stokes out of the event. We believe they have gone off the road. So they were putting on a magnificent show when we saw them in Special Stage 4. So we're just waiting for Ray Wilson to be the first official competitor to start the stage. And here he is, the stage officially underway with Ray Wilson and the Audi Quattro supporting support for the Neurological Foundation.
in Escort RS 1800s generally. So the first car out on track now.
So
Yeah, do you know, these guys enjoy coming here because you have some of the very best rally roads in the world. And I've been out this morning and seen some of them. My goodness me. Fast, flowing, technical in places, a little bit of everything out there.
So you've been on a bus.
So here comes Ray Wilson to do his first full lap around the course in the Audi Quattro. Bit of a brake lock-up as he heads into the final turn over the back of the course, and getting set to go now on the start line. On the start line.
Wayne Muckle.
Oh, there's Wayne Muckle and Tony Crosswell. Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3 Group A.
These are four-wheel drive. These won't be as spectacular as the two-wheel.
Yeah, what about the tyres they're on? Because you know, the gravel tyres are harder than tarmac tyres. There's very little grip on the tarmac.
Yes, you can hear the course commentators, Roscoe, talking about the fact the cars have to stay on the gravel tyres. How difficult is it driving on rally tyres on tarmac?
Obviously they're not really made for it, but it actually helps to put on a bit of a show. The tyres are pretty knackered after doing half a day's rallying so far, so I guess nobody's really worried about wearing them out.
The Evo's after the Audi.
There you go.
He's gone down the inside, lock up all round, nope.
Oh, almost like track racing here.
Maybe doesn't work here, I suppose.
Not sure that's actually not really supposed to happen, but
the Ray's completing his pass, so it just goes to show that Evo's just a wee bit quicker than the Audi four-wheel drive. Out four-wheel drive category.
So here goes Wayne Muckle around for his first full lap. Off the start line now is car 104. It's Murray Mitchell and Chris Thompson in the Subaru Impreza WRX from South Otago and Oamaru.
back to the tyres. There's I think about 9 or 10 left-hand corners on this particular stage. There's no right-handers. If you had your preparation act together, you'd probably try and pump the two right-hand tyres up on the way back. From 27 psi, which you'd normally expect to run in a gravel tyre, you'd probably want to put 37 in them just to pump them up a bit so you don't get the tyre roll around the corners. Handy little hint.
Funny that. I think a rally driver I know that's sitting next to me actually did that one year and actually won the stage.
Nobody saw us pull into the service station and pump them up, did they?
Alrighty, another Audi Quattro on the start line. This is Phil Collins and Tracy Spark, both from Motueka.
Right, here we go.
That was impressive off the line, wasn't it?
Now that looks pretty good. That looks like an Audi going off the line indeed.
Darren King lined his car up. The Mitsubishi Lancer, quite a few Lancers here in this field. As I said, this is the four-wheel classic category.
Just had a little bit of conflicting information to determine the stage record here. Actually appears that maybe Ken Block didn't actually hold the record for very long. Richard Mason came along and beat him by a couple of seconds. It is now 1:27.6. So that's the time to beat.
To be in the forest this morning, hitting speeds of anything up to maybe 170, 180 kilometers an hour. You know, they've got the skills in the tower.
We've got Darren Keane on the start line with Sarah Faulkner in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 1, car number 106.
Looks like this car might have blown a bit of a turbo seal there, Grant. It's bellowing a lot of blue smoke out the back. In fact, I think it's disappeared in the smoke screen.
Well, funny that. A rally driver sitting beside me here had the same issue in here one year.
My Evo 3 did exactly the same thing. A couple of stages from the end, ended up actually consuming probably more oil than petrol. But we got here, we had to buy a couple of litres of fuel, oil of course along the way. But this was the last stage of the rally, so we were pleased to say we made it to the end and put a smoke screen around Dunedin ports in the meantime. Things you got to do.
Let's hope he can get the car fixed and back into the action for tomorrow. Darren Keane and Sarah Faulkner on the smoky Mitsubishi Lancer.
An issue, unfortunately, with that car.
It's got a blown turbo. I've just had the news through. Blown turbo, so it'll get into the...
And we've got 109 getting set on the start line now. And this is Nigel Lawson from Mosgiel with co-driver Bryce 80 and a Mitsubishi Lancer car 109 launching away.
Well, that might have been a little bit hard on the clutch, but better the clutch and the gearbox.
It was such a variety we had. So we've got the tarmac here, the first stage, cold, it was damp.
Smoky Evo continues.
The second stage was fast and dry, and the third stage, one of the quickest.
They might be into a bit of a job to replace the turbo overnight if they've got a spare one on the truck.
A variety of different stages out there.
And they'll throw in tomorrow a whole lot of different stages north of here, up towards Armoru and through Palmerston, and again, different roads. It'll be quite challenging. So we're only at the halfway mark. And how about Hayden had just dominant?
Well, you know, we expected that, didn't we? He's a world-class driver. Osberg, also a world-class driver, different sort of
And
car,
our next
but
competitor lining up
quality of the field,
to have a crack on the street circuit here, car 107. This is Craig Cox and Matthew Terry from Christchurch.
11th place overall. How's that?
He doesn't really know these roads.
So Evo's chasing Evos around at the moment
Going fast, he's committed, taking the right line.
as we wait for the
Talking
first
classic
Subaru
four-wheel drive
aggressive.
here, Grant. Classic four-wheel drive, Evos,
Or
Subarus,
never been in an escort.
GTR, Pulsars. That's what we're talking about.
What a shock to the system. So we continue with the four-wheel drives, getting down to the end of that category, the classic four-wheel drives. Then we'll move on to the Otago International Classic Rally. And we've got some big names coming out of that. Lance Osberg will be the last one away. Real scrap going on with him and Regan Ross and Derek Ayton. Jeff Judd's in there as well. Just about to come out. Zeke King from Dunedin again.
Yep, Zeke King from Dunedin with Mark Thompson beside him. Car 111 waiting to have his crack at the street stage here in Dunedin as we just watch Craig Cox completing his lap.
A lot of times, your knowledge of the stages, you've got to have a good car, obviously, but the knowledge and the experience really counts in this sort of rally.
Fastest through so far is Wayne Muckle in the Evo, 139. We're going to have to see someone do 10 or more seconds quicker than that, and the quicker cars get anywhere near the record.
And Craig Cox, of course, just finishing his run on the streets here. And Craig, of course, won the Otago Rally Young Driver Scholarship with a free entry into this event. So good on you, Craig, and well done.
Into the stage. The flat 4 engine of the Subaru Legacy.
So we've had a bit of a change in the running order for the stage. Of course, the most spectacular stage for the spectators. Looks like we're actually running all the classics in reverse order now.
On the course now is Tom Bond and Neil Woolley. Tom Bond from Dunedin, Neil comes from Australia, and the Subaru Legacy, car number 112.
And another little chase on our hands here by the looks of it. So the Subaru chasing down the WRX, so old and new. Quite different.
Here we go. Yes, the Subaru chasing the WRX indeed.
Old model versus new, or new versus old.
The Legacy's going hard.
Right, so I think that Legacy's trying. He's really pushing it. Four-wheel drive Legacy sideways onto Sturdy Street with a little flick.
A little bit of a Scandinavian flick
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And the Legacy keeps going
It's trying pretty hard.
as the impressive finishes.
Might end up with the fastest time of the
You want to
day.
get them off balance to drift them around the corners, and that's the little flick the drivers do just before they head into the corners.
The Nissan Pulsar GTIR of Ray Casey from Cromwell and Jimmy Martin from Alexandra on the start line, car number 110.
There he goes.
As the Legacy comes round once again.
He's lapping each better and quicker.
Yeah, they will, you know.
Two more left-handers before he crosses the finish line. We'll keep an eye on his time. Pretty impressive.
The first few cars through, bit dusty, right.
There's the little Pulsar getting set to leave the start line.
Comes grippy out, the driver's getting
Ray Casey.
with the surface.
Ray Casey from Cromwell is about to be let loose into the stage. Well, this is Pulsar. Get a variety of cars here, don't you? We've got everything.
Oh, I absolutely love it. You know, you can see some of the best rally cars in the world.
The Leone had to slow down a little bit to let that distance through. Go way to him.
car number 115. Woohoo! Get set as we have another chase going on the streets.
When they started off the little runner, 300 plus horsepower in them.
All right, so the last of the four-wheel drive classics is about to be let loose off the start line. That'll be Greg King from Dunedin. And there we go.
Pulsar heads around for the full lap.
Two-wheel drive, that is. Number of Starlet, Corollas, Ford Escort, Mach 1, 1600.
Did a 143.9.
Mach 2s. It's going to be
Still
great.
139.3 to be.
Yeah, we're not too far away from the Escort.
By Wayne Muckle.
They are
Old head.
spectacular. Two-wheel drive.
Old
on the
shoulders,
tarmac,
old car.
on gravel tires, 300 horsepower.
And so this hand goes round one more time. Greg Keane revs it up and gets ready for his shot on the streets of Dunedin. And away he goes.
Of the four-wheel drive. So
Greg Keane and Nick
Greg
Jenner
King from Dunedin.
in car number
Lining up on the
115.
start line will be Rob McConaughey from Dunedin as well, and his little Starlet. Let the fun and games begin.
Round comes the Pulsar one more time.
New drivers to look out for here in this two-wheel drive category, including Marty Rostenberg, making a return to New Zealand rallying, and he's in the car that he started rallying in, well, way back
As
in the
we
1900s.
wait to see the Pulsar come to the
Been
finish
around a few
line,
years, Marty.
and we
Good
now
on his
wait
race. We might
for the
catch up
first
with Marty
of
very
the
shortly
official
just
classic
see how his
entries
day's
to get
been.
underway. Rob McConaughey from Dunedin with Shane Turner. Sean Turner.
All right, so this is the first of...
The Toyota Starlet
Wiggle at the start, puts the power down, and away
in the
we
way.
go.
Oh, that looks and sounded fabulous, didn't it? Look at the rubber marks.
There's the real mark off
Bad
the
for a
front
little
line.
starter, was it?
Not sure which direction you decided to go. Went left and then straightened it up. This is going to be great, watching it come onto 30th Street, Colin. You watch.
But you know, it's part of the problem with these two-wheel drive cars with the gravel tires. Lots of power, the power to weight
here we go.
ratio is
Round
phenomenal.
comes
To get
the
that power
Impressor.
down and get the car moving.
Out on his heel, the little
He
Starlet.
apparently is a
Rob
good president
McConaughey.
as well.
Come on, little girl.
The Otago Sports Car
Nice little
Club.
bit of power to weight
Rob
ratio
McConaughey.
there, bit of a gain. Don't need four-wheel drive around here.
Alongside of him, Sean Turner.
Lining up here on screen, you see now this is Ian Elliott and Tom Milliken. Ian from Oamaru and the Datsun 1200. So the Datsun 1200 heads off onto the course. Ian Elliott chasing McConaughey's little Starlet.
One, two. You're back with it.
Well, you're quite right. There's front one left wheel on the drive.
As the Starlet comes round to complete his lap, on the start line, Eddie Gray getting ready to begin his turn on the streets of Dunedin. Eddie Gray, Josh Schaefer from Greymouth, the Ford Escort RS 1800.
That's $800,000 for a well-prepared
And
Okay,
away he
we got a race
goes.
on here. Escort's got quite a bit more power than the little Datsun.
You've got, I've got another one here for you.
Tony Smith lining
Out
up
of the BBA Escort is fantastic,
Sorry,
but there we go.
and his little starter 1300cc car. It's been a little bit of a sensation on this rally so far. I believe he's leading the 1300cc class by a minute and a half. Beautifully prepared little starter. It's got in the Magnum colours, Magnum Motorsport. Father Mark is preparation expert. No doubt this car will be very well prepared, and hopefully goes well tomorrow and gets the result he deserves.
Yeah, Tim won his class at Westland by 4 minutes, so he's obviously peddling this little Starlet extremely well.
The little yellow Corolla of
And 34C lining up on the start line is George Keast in the Ford Escort Mark 1. Now George didn't come through the stages. Presume he had a mechanical, but everything is repaired, and it's great to see George Keast from Invercargill line the Mark 1 Escort up here. And 34C, George Keast dropped 3 minutes early in the rally. They've obviously got that repaired, and good to see him back out, and no doubt he'll be back in the action tomorrow. George Keast.
Car 34 is George Keast from Invercargill.
Keeping an eye out for Tony Smith's time. Oh, Tim Smith, sorry, I get that name wrong, didn't I? Sorry Tim, apologise for that.
So Wayne Muckle currently fastest on the super stage by 1:02 from Phil Collins in the Quattro.
Yeah, no, we had a great day. The car's gone really well and we're having a ball. This was the first rally car that you rallied, wasn't it? Yeah, pretty much. In '88, Pat and I won the 1300cc.
So lining up on the start line, car number 30.
Miles McElwain from Whitianga, ex-Hamilton guy. This car he's had for probably good 20-25 years, done every classic rally that he can do. He's certainly got a few miles under his belt. It's been proven a really reliable car for him. Probably not the fastest car in the world or the wildest in terms of tune, but certainly done the miles.
And look at the tyres, look at the front tyres. I think that's quite slick. You know what's interesting is front legs.
Tim Smith is finished as Miles McElwain gets underway in the yellow Toyota Corolla AE86.
Okay, Marty Rostenberg on the line now, pulled in a little bit of a Swifty. He's gone for tarmac tyres on the front to give him the turn in, a little bit cheeky. Not sure how they get away with that one, but anyway, good on him. I see that could give him quite a good advantage. Could make the tail hang out a little bit more too.
Marty Rostenberg, 29C is about to get let loose.
So we've got clarification. The driven wheel has to be gravel. So the rear wheel.
The old mate Marty the Mad Mary.
Gravel tires on the front.
Great to see him back. One of the characters of New Zealand motorsport. He'll have a joke and a laugh with anybody. You're more of a laugh after a beer.
Marty Rostenberg and Pat Norris line up to get going, and there was an interesting conversation there. Just heard that in fact they say that the driving wheels must have the rally tyres, and so that's possibly why Marty's gone and thought outside the box, you might say, and put on some road tyres on the front.
Not unusual for an Auckland real estate agent to be looking for an unfair advantage.
Murray Garrick and Lockie Garrick from Wanaka and the Ford Escort are lining up on the start line now. Car 28C. C, of course, is the definition for the cars in the classic category.
Keep an eye on the times for the 21300s. Tim Smith versus Marty Rostenberg. 153 dead for Tim. Let you know Marty shortly.
On the start line now, in the picture you can see David Lawrence and Darren Davidson, the first of our Australian competitors to hit the start line here at the Super Special.
Looks like a car that Ross Dunkerton from Perth would have actually brought over here a few years ago. Looks very similar. Good old competitor Roscoe.
Away goes David Lawrence and Darren Davidson in the Datsun 1600.
David Lawrence on the start line now. Another of the Aussies was Darren Davidson. Datsun 1600. Carl Ravage with Andrew Ravage, father and son. Carl had to be one of the oldest drivers in this rally. Been loyal to it for so long. From Timaru. Oh, the stands are getting it all wrong almost takes out the curve. Very, very wide.
Okay, quite there you go. Marty Rosenberg actually won the class, won the 1300cc time to date. He's done a 151.1 versus Tim Smith's 153. The Starlet's putting on a close battle, and no doubt they'll be doing it again tomorrow.
We've got our Datsuns that we mixed up. Of course, that's Darren Snoots and Michael Forshaw from Australia out there on the Datsun stand. Here is the Lawrence, David Lawrence and Darren Davidson in the Datsun 1600. So it's an all-Australian battle between the Datsuns out there right now.
Good to have you back.
You allowed to say that son of a bee?
And folks, if you'd like to support our live stream coverage from the MoMac team here today, you'll see on screen the GoFundMe page. Any contributions towards the guys and their expenses down here, which is all being met out of pocket at the moment. It'd be greatly appreciated if you could make a donation. No matter how small, every bit goes towards helping the guys recover their costs to bring this live streaming coverage to you for the first time ever from the Otago Rally.
Another car, father and son just about to leave the line. Carl Ravage with his son Andrew. Looks like I might have choked up the plugs a little bit, fouled them up a bit while it's been idling, sitting waiting to the start, but it's cleared itself and he's away.
Mulligan moving the BMW up onto the line. At the moment on the track, official stage 8, the Drive South Rally, Otago, and the cars competing in the...
So you can see Ed Mulligan sitting on the start line now from Australia with Claire Bishini, the BMW 325i.
That looks nice and straight after a day's work out in the public roads. Not a scratch on it, beautifully prepared. I imagine when it was before it got dirty, it would have been a very nice looking car.
We've never done this circuit before. Last year was a funny little...
Meanwhile, on screen, we watch the Datsun coming through to the finish.
It is to see you here.
And away goes Ed Mulligan and Claire Bishini from Australia in the BMW 325 car 24C.
Taking care of the car, but you've certainly been no slouch out in those stages this morning. You've been on the pace all morning through every stage.
Yes, we have. I think I struggle a bit on a few spaces. I overheat the brakes a little bit. But I just put them a bit and adjusted the head even more, and that seems to be helping. So I just need to work my head around things.
What about this little stage? That's going to be a lot of fun. It's on the tarmac, gravel rear tires for you as well. Looking forward to this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, just watch. Wait for car 23 to
Go and have a little walk around, have a look at the corners, keep an eye on the
get
bike.
set to go. Car 23 is Craig Barclay and Daniel Mills. Ford Escort Mark II.
All we have to worry about, left.
You turn right, you're going the wrong way.
And make sure you count the number of laps. Alright, so Matt's having a little look at the course. Car 22 online. At the moment, that's Brendan Mitchell from Winton with Ross Taylor in their 1600 Datsun. They were great rally cars of the day too. Won the East African Safari. They were good.
So Ed Mulligan throws the BMW around the course here on the streets of Dunedin.
There's another Escort having a bit of fun, losing its way a wee bit.
Well-known rally competitor, of course, from Australia that's been to many Rally New Zealands over the years, Ed Mulligan, but certainly not in a BMW.
It's interesting for us to watch.
Right, so here comes the Escort again. See if he can get this right. It's the perfect lap. Off 33. Left-hander hits the brakes. Squeeze of the wheel.
So off the start line goes Craig Barclay and Daniel Mills from Belclutha and the Ford Escort Mark II. Brendan Mitchell is out on the course. We see lining up Graham Coey and Tony Witheridge from Christchurch in the Mitsubishi Lancer EX Turbo.
Different lines through there too, which is interesting as they go into Whitcliffe Street. One of your Australians coming up, Daniel Callanan. His dad is usually here, but this year, they're giving him the car. He's the car, they look after him.
So round comes the Datsun one more time for Brendan Mitchell as Graham Coey heads off in chase in the Mitsubishi Lancer EX Turbo.
With Alan Steen, who's been coming to this rally for a long, long time. He's been co-driven for so many different people, from Rob Duncan and right through. And Alan now sitting as the calming voice of
Still
the car.
nobody got anywhere near Wayne Muckle's time of 1:39.3. Still probably 1.02 faster than Phil Collins and the Quattro. But apart from them, nobody else is really getting that close.
So Mark Lawson coming up to the line as well with Abby Lawson, his daughter next to him. He's in the, well, they call it the Northern Adventure V8. He's got a
So
right
round goes the
over it.
Datsun, round goes the Mitsubishi Lancer, and as the Datsun finishes his run on the streets and the Lancer heads around for the second lap, away goes Daniel Callahan and Alan Steen from Australia, regular competitors here to Rally Otago in the Ford Escort RS 1800. On the start line now, getting set to go, is the V8 Avenger of Mark Lachlan and AB Lachlan from Dunedin.
Mark Lawton, been around for a while, obviously Harcourt's rep, and he's done this rally in that car many, many times. Got the old Rover V8 engine, it's a lightweight aluminium V8 block, fairly good power to weight ratio. He does love splitting stones, he's having fun. He's got road tyres on the front, give him a bit of bite, we might see some sideways action.
So the V8 Avenger. Oh yeah! Baby! The V8 Avenger in chase of Graham Coey.
That's what we're talking about. Bloomy voice box.
He's just getting it warmed up. He's winding it up. Lights are on. Here you go, brother. Working the wheel.
Oh yeah. How to burn. Smoke those bags.
He'll do it the next time round. I can hear the sound of rotary too.
So we watch the big V8 Avenger go round as we wait for the next competitor on the start line, which is Gary Varco from Kerry.
The Scandinavian.
There you go to Salika.
That's what we're talking about.
Fabulous stuff.
Gotta say, Barry Varco's car looks magnificently built. Perfect example of a historic car. Oh, Mark, give it the Scandinavian. There you go.
Time in New Zealand with RX3's dominated our national championship. Rod Millen won the New Zealand Rally Championship 3 years in a row in a car like that.
Okay, 10 points for showmanship. Thanks, Mark.
Gary Varco heads around in the Salika once again for his second lap.
Great place to stand right on the start line.
Rear-wheel drive Salikas were part of the World Championship in the very early 80s, of course, before the four-wheel drives became the thing to have for the norm, you might say.
Here's Andy Martin getting the RX3 Mazda.
Things are getting serious now, aren't they? All the sounds.
Andy Martin from Tauranga and Matt Hayward in the Mazda RX3. Of course, Andy had to go in a four-wheel drive championship car and has decided, obviously, much more fun back in a classic Mazda.
He's going to chase down, goes very wide. We're going to Dukes of Hazzard thing. He's going out here.
We've got a bit of a race on here.
He's on the tail of that. The Toyota Corolla rather. Oh, he goes wide.
There's a great fight going on here between the Celica and the Mazda. Oh, he's
Tried to get him on the inside on the braking. Marco's not having any of it.
He goes real wide, comes back on the skirt. He lines it up again. He comes Andy Martin, the RX3.
here comes the RX3 round again. There's Mike Townsend.
Broken axle?
Oh,
I might have broken an axle.
so
Axle.
oh, there he is. Looks like you can see him on screen now. Looks like yep, might be an
Hang
axle.
on, he's actually in a dangerous position right there. I wouldn't be getting out of the car.
So
Okay, we might have a hold up of proceedings. I'd say he snapped a carrot, otherwise known as a rear axle. They're having a look underneath it. Bit of oil maybe pouring out of the gearbox, is it?
just
All for a bit of smoke for the spectators and
Just-
paid the penalty.
such a shame from Mike Townsend from Australia and Garrett Spence from Christchurch and the Toyota Corolla.
Did get a little bit of axle shake, axle shudder, should we say. Might have been dropped a drive shaft, can't quite see from here.
So just while we wait in the proceedings, how are the times looking so far, Roscoe?
Well, Wayne Muckle still holds the fastest time at 1:39.3, followed by Phil Collins at 1:41.5, and nobody is to Casey 1:41.9. Otherwise, nobody else in the low 40s yet. Martin and the RX3 that just went round, he might have been held up a little bit by the car before it broke down. Did a 1:42.4, still a long way away from the 1:27s, 1:28s for a record.
It is always lovely to see you here. You had a cracker this morning out there. My goodness me, you've been quick.
Always love to hear it. Had a few little troubles to keep us on this morning, but
All right, so
today perfect running conditions, no dance in the road,
we have Richie Chadwick, car 10, lining up with Rachel Chadwick from Dunedin and their Toyota Levin once proceedings get underway again.
What surprised me this morning was the variety of stages. You went up to one stage, it was wet. By the time you got to the Kerry Beach stage, it was dry and dusty. It's pretty difficult in terms of getting the car set up for those conditions.
well, four wheels and the order to drive the car, so yeah, that's what makes this really unique. There is so many different variations of stages between 35 k's, very much like a motorway. A little bit again tomorrow is a little bit different again. So
Great to see so many people out here to see you as well. The crowds are phenomenal this time of year.
oh no, I think see all the classics and the BDAs making those nice noises. So no, it's great to see so many people out.
Listen, Ed Pratt will be joining us very shortly on the stage. Without any question of doubt, a world-class driver, one of the top 5 or 6 drivers in the world. And fingers crossed we'll see you back, Brian, in a World Rally car before too long.
I hope so. I hope so. So we've cleared Mike Townsend's car off the circuit. I'm sure of what happened. And ready to resume.
Hayden Padden, you got a minute just to have a quick chat to the live streaming for the show. I hear you had a bit of an axle problem this morning. What stage was that in?
Oh, just in the forestry one in Berwick, so it lasts sort of 5 or 6 k's. So luckily it happened there, I guess, because we had service afterwards and the guys could fix it. So
And
no
still
big
won the stage, so
Oh,
pretty, pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like when the car's working, it's working pretty well. But you know, the other guys are doing a really good job. I think Dylan's been doing a really good job today, and Ben's always quite fast as well. So yeah, still plenty of things to work for tomorrow.
Excellent. So the car's a little bit better than what it was here last year?
Yeah, I think so. It's certainly feel more comfortable in the car. It's a bit easier to drive and a little bit more refined. road conditions are a bit more difficult this year with the developed line in front of us. It's not a four-wheel drive line, if you like. So, but I actually enjoy that. It's a different challenge that we haven't had before.
Two-wheel drive cars throwing a few stones on the road for you. What about your program? You're doing the Pacific Championship. You're doing the 2 rounds in Australia.
Well, look, we'll do Otago Whangarei and then we'll assess it from there. We'd like to do a round in Australia, but we have to find out how that can work. We probably don't want to take this car over there, so we have to find something in Australia.
Good on you.
We're still looking at all those sort of things.
So you've only got a 3-minute 30 lead at the moment.
You know as much as me, you never take anything for granted in this game, so just have a clean run around here tonight, and tomorrow's another challenging day, bit of rain coming, so...
True enough. Well, you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we'll do.
So back to the action on the stages. Grant Walker, Tracy Dewhurst from Australia, car 9C are currently out on the course. Looking down the line as is about to hop into his car.
Yeah, Stuart Reid as well, friend of mine, a Scotsman from Brisbane. He's got a couple of lovely cars and workshops. Absolutely.
As the escort continues around, Carl Robinson and Tony Amos from Upper Hutt and the Nissan Bluebird Turbo head off for their shot around the streets of Dunedin. As Grant Walker comes around at full noise in the escort.
Almost locks it up coming off 33. Really needs to.
And that was a nice line round through there for Grant Walker and Tracy Dewhurst.
There's a bit of rubber down there now, so they're really pushing it.
These boys are very competitive. They run somewhat clearly, but they want to win. They want to be as high as they can. And spectacular.
As we see Graham Ferguson and Ross Moody on the start line.
And with a stage like this, you can't win the rally, but you can lose it.
Graham Ferguson, of course, from Greymouth, and Ross Moody from Cromwell.
Very nice. That is an ex-Massport owned car, GF780. That's a famous number plate. That's one of the Massport cars from original Heatwave Rally New Zealand back in the early 70s. That is fantastic. A black and white number plate. Who would have thought? I can do this all day, Grant. Just sit here watching this. Good to see Emma lining up for a shot.
Girl Emma Gilmore is only a couple of cars away. She's had a lot of mechanical issues.
Nice to have Emma having the car sorted and back out here.
Yeah, you know, Emma Gilmore.
As 31C is on the start line, and that is Adam Fisher, Gilly Fisher from Wellington, and their Toyota Starlet.
Somebody we didn't see, Grant, was Steve Cox and Laurie Brenzel. They haven't turned up here at this stage. I wonder if they've had a problem. And their little Starlet. The $100,000 Starlet. Oops, did I say that?
Stuart Reid in his yellow escort. There's something special about the sound of the CDA.
Graham Ferguson has the metal to the pedal, and off he goes around the course in his Ford Escort RS 1800. Is on the start line now. We see Stuart Reid and John Mortimer from Australia in the Ford Escort Mark II. And it looks like it's escort time, is it?
It's like Walker from Australia and his BDA's actually set the fastest time at 1:39.1 for the day so far. Beats Wayne Muckle in the Evo 3, who was second car out there at 1:39.3. So the times are starting to fall. We're getting to the pointy end of the field. I'd say Emma's probably going to go quicker than that.
So here goes the escort. The chase is on.
BDA on Starlet, bit of a no-brainer.
So get them down there as they come towards off Wycliffe.
Defended the line.
Here comes down on top. No, not quite. So this is Emma Gilmore.
So Emma Gilmore getting set to put on a show on the streets of Dunedin, the local lady and the first lady of New Zealand rallying. So pleased to see Emma out here and the car back in action, the little Suzuki Swift.
Ready for tomorrow, but oh, you can see the difference in the power of the four-wheel drive again, off the line. Look at that rear wing as well. My goodness me, that's the biggest one you'll see this weekend.
So round goes the escort with Emma in chase and the Vantage Suzuki lining up on the start line now. Jeff Judd, Sarah Brennan in the Ford Escort RS 1800, car 5C. And away goes Jeff Judd.
Go Jeff, Magnum Motors.
And of course Jeff Judd has done a lot of tarmac racing as well in his time in the RX-7s.
Oh, pretty wide there, Jeffrey. Pretty hard to focus on two cars at once.
Absolutely, and it's only the young age too, at 12 and 13 years old. Children, yeah, children in the car. It's a great thing, I didn't realise that.
So on the start line is Derek Asen. So two very quick escorts chasing each other through the stage now.
When it comes to the Classic, the Otago International Classic Rally.
So Jeff Judd and Derek Asen as we look at the number 1 seed. Get ready.
Yeah, pretty good battle between these 3-4 BDAs here in terms of times. I can get it.
Oh, that was a great shot, Jeff Judd, giving it absolutely everything.
And all of them are escorts as well.
So Regan Ross lines up Regan Ross from Kaikoura.
As we suspected, Emma Gilmore has by far exceeded the best time to date. She's done a 1:35.2. It's pretty good. Thank you, Emma. She'll be happy you got something out of the day. But here we got a show on now.
So Regan Ross, and there's Derek Asen.
Gosh, they sound great, don't they?
There goes Regan Ross as the number 1 man sits on the start line. This is Mats Ostberg from Norway.
Running 7th overall in the whole rally. That's pretty good for a 2-wheel drive and amongst all the 4-wheel drive modern cars. It's a pretty good sign of a professional peddler. And Kiwi's giving him a little bit of a hurry. Give it to him! we're talking about.
It's Osberg into the stage. Whoa.
Alright, here goes Matt Osberg, near 33 now. Look at Anzac Avenue, he's coming towards you. You're rocking that wheel.
Mats Osberg, the #1 classic driver, about to finish his day one here on the streets of Dunedin, as we see Hayden Paddon sitting on the start line with John Kennard in the Hyundai 120i AP4. This is our rally leader and record smasher today.
.38.4 is the fastest time for a two-wheel drive around here today. It'll be interesting to see how they match up. Grant Walker a few years ago. I think these guys are going to be quick.
Every day, anywhere in the world. Oh, Hayden's got really wide.
Oh, Hayden! Concentrating on the escorts. Hayden went really wide. Oh, he's popped a tyre. Oh, I wondered when he pulled up to the start line, I thought he didn't put any extra pressure on the front right hand tyre. It's popped it off the rim. He might have touched the curb maybe out of camera sight.
Well,
Drama.
Drama for Hayden Paddon here on the streets of Dunedin.
Just as well, he's only got a 3-minute 30-second lead. Jason did a 139, which is pretty quick for a two-wheel drive. Juddy did a 143. Regan Ross did a 138.3. Matt Osberg was actually a little bit slower, 141.7. I think he's just putting a show on for the crowd. But hey, the hot news here.
Hayden Paddon going very slowly
around the stage. The officials have stopped anybody else entering the stage just to give him a wee bit of room. Obviously, not going as fast as he normally would.
Alright, on the start line now, Andrew Hawkswood and Jeff Kress and their Mazda 2 AP4, and Andrew's bound to put on a bit of a show for the spectators as well.
I think we're going to have a new stage winner for the first time today. It's not going to be Hayden Paddon, that is for absolutely sure. We'll give you a time very shortly.
As around comes Andrew Hawkswood to complete his full lap. As Ben Hunt lines up on the start line, Tony Rawstrom from Auckland. Ben Hunt, of course, rally champion in the Subaru Impreza WRX, the Hydrolink car, getting set to head out and chase Andrew Hawkswood. A nice getaway for Ben Hunt.
Just overheard Brian Kelly talking on the microphone, interviewing Hayden after the finish line. Sounds like they just didn't have enough tyre pressure in there and they popped the tyre off the rim. Didn't hit anything, fortunately. So back tomorrow. Thank God. Now these guys are gone.
Oh, he's
Supposed to be the fastest times.
Nice one, Ben Hunt. So Ben Hunt on the course, of course. Normally following Ben Hunt would have been Brendan Reeves, but as you know, Brendan's had alternator issues. And so unfortunately Brendan Reeves Reeves is out for today in the Ford Fiesta AP4. Let's hope they can get the alternator sorted, and Brendan is back in the competition. But on the track now is Dylan Turner and Malcolm Reed in the Audi AP4, car number 8.
Looking real good. We've got Matt and
Okay, in round figures, Hayden did a 158, probably lost about 20 odd seconds, maybe more, not the worst thing. Hawkswood did a 140, fastest time still remains with Emma Gilmer at 135. Go Emma!
Sitting on the start line now, Matt and Nicole Summerfield.
Unfortunately blowing a little bit of smoke out the back there, looks like it could be a turbo on its way out.
Matt and Nicole, of course, lost a lot of time. With a puncture that they couldn't change easily, and it really has taken Matt and Nicole Summerfield out of contention for the overall Rally Otago win, but still putting up some good stage times and have been in the top 4 or 5. So
Dylan Turner's going well in the Audi. Watch this time from Dylan, he's going really well.
It's Matt Summerfield, heads down the back straight, I suppose we could call it.
Was that the front straight?
Or the front straight. They finish on the back straight.
Yeah, that's back to front.
Josh Marsden on the start line now with Andrew Graves in the Holden Barina AP4. As
Nice,
Matt
man.
Summerfield heads around.
Very nice.
Nicely done. As away goes Josh Marsden, Andrew Graves in the Holden Barina AP4.
Okay, Ben Hunt has gone fastest for the day, 132.9. That's a better time. The Emma Gilmer was 135.2. Times are coming down. There's only really Turner, Summerfield. Oh, who else is going to give them a shot?
On the start line now, Phil Campbell and Malcolm Pettin. Phil Campbell from Tauranga in the Ford Fiesta AP4. The only Ford Fiesta AP4 still in action at the moment, with Brendan Reeves's the Brian Stokes owned car sidelined with alternator issues. Talking about being sidelined, but he's back into the event and coming up to the start line. As Phil Campbell heads away. Coming up to the start line is Rona Horan from Auckland. Of course, had some issues with the car, but it's all back together and back in the action. Rona Horan.
Yeah. Well, Josh Marsden's actually going alright. It just doesn't sound right if a Holden's going to win the stage though, does it? We've got a V8 Commodore coming up.
And here comes Rona Horan and Michael Connor in the Skoda R5.
Dylan Turner's done the third fastest time in his little Audi. 134.8. Man to beat still is Ben Hunt, 132.9, which is actually based on a standard production car. So it's doing pretty well compared to all of these special build cars with shorter wheelbase, lower weight, etc. Good on you, Ben. So far so good for a stage win.
And news just in Roscoe, Stephen Barker, who was sitting in 5th overall in the Lancer Evo, has had an electrical problem 3 corners from the end of Special Stage 7 Berwick. The car coasted to the finish, but is a temporary withdrawal. So such sad news for Stephen Barker, who was putting on a great return to rallying in New Zealand.
Well, I hope it wasn't the type of electrical problem where the conrod actually knocked the alternator off the side of the block. Hopefully we'll see it again tomorrow.
powering around in the Skoda R5.
That's the back seat.
Just waiting for a time for Matt Summerfield. Come on. And Josh Marsden.
And there's David Holder going around in the Allied 24/7 Holden Marina AP4, the sister car that was built, of course, to Josh Marsden's car. Can David Holder put on a better Holden performance than Josh Marsden?
I wonder whether Murph's keeping one eye on the results while he's over at Phillip Island. That's his car that David Holder's driving.
David Holder heads around, away goes Kingsley Jones and Waverley Jones, and their Skoda R5, the second of the Skoda R5s in the country and competing in NZRC this year.
There's another one.
There's another one, the third Skoda.
Skoda Buggery.
Job Quantock and Grant Mara. Job from Ohuka near Christchurch, Grant Mara from Christchurch, car number 17 in the Skoda Fabia AP4.
Both of these guys are all competitors in the New Zealand Rally Championship. We're coming down to the all colours category very shortly.
I don't think anybody's
As
going.
David Holder comes through the finish line, he's finished his run. Let's see how his time compared to Josh Marsden in the similar car. So here comes Dylan Thompson and Amy Hudson in the Subaru Impreza WRX. Of course, moved up from the little Ford Fiesta two-wheel drives of the last few years. Dylan's put in a superb job to win his class in the last couple of years and rightly moves into a four-wheel drive Subaru Impreza WRX.
Okay, got some hot news, Grant. A little bit of a consolation from Matt Summerfield. First equal with Ben Hunter on the stage. Good on you, Matt. That's a little bit of a good comeback after a long delay with a puncher earlier on in the day. 132.9.
Oh, and David Holder only has front-wheel drive, we're told, with the driveline issue, so there'll be no way David Holder can compete against the time of Josh Marsden in the similar car. So thanks for that news, DC. David Holder, front-wheel drive only.
He did a 142.6, did Holder, which is quite a bit slower than Josh Marsden, and the other Holden at 136.5, so 6 seconds for the extra two-wheel drive. Giving it.
So, running a little bit out of order, but back into the competition. On the start line now is Jack Hawkswood and Alex Parkin and the Mazda 2 AP4.
Still sporting a few dents on the side of the roof there.
With our friends from New Caledonia on the line next.
So Dylan Thompson being chased by Jack Hawkswood as waiting on the start line is car number 19, Eugene Crenot from Caledonia and Philippe Delroux, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. Eugene's been coming out competing in Rally New Zealand and New Zealand Rally Championship for a number of years. As they head off into the super special stage here on the streets of Dunedin. So car 20 lining up on the start line is Matt Adams from Auckland with Lisa Hudson co-driving. Matt Adams, the son of Paul Adams, former New Zealand rally champion. Matt in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9 getting set for his shot on the streets of Dunedin.
I think Father Paul Adams actually won the Heatway Rally 1979, was it? In a BMW 2002 Ti, I believe is the correct term. He still owns that car now. He competes at the Rod Millen hill climb each year, and I think having his son out here will be most proud. First season Evo 9, should go good.
Lights it up.
Yep.
Well, most of these cars are looking okay. Didn't have any phenomenon with that. One or two engines were missing a few body parts, a few little dents, scrapes, but
So as we watch Eugene head around the course,
Number plate. Look at that number plate.
then coming up to the start line is Garrett and Gemma Thomas. Here we are, Garrett and Gemma Thomas from Darfield and the Subaru Impreza WRX and NZRC and all comers. It's a very good takeoff off the line there for Garrett Thomas. Garrett has been putting in some top performances in mainland rallies here in the south, Canterbury, Hamner, Nelson rallies, and in amongst the NZRC, and also entered in the all-comers field, Garrett and Gemma Thomas. And we've just been advised that Garrett is actually second today in NZRC Category 5 to Ben Thomason. So a great drive by Garrett, and certainly showing that he is the rally talent that we've seen over the last 12 months or so. As we continue down the NZRC and all-comers field here at Dunedin, you'll see car number 32 on the start line. This is Bryn Smith and Andy Beck from Auckland, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9.
Looks like we might have just caught up with the fact that Job Quantic in the little Skoda has actually got the third quickest time today. Of course, Matt Summerfield, Ben Hunt first equal, and then Job Quantic has done very well. Good stage time, 1:33.5. Oh, Clinky. Yeah, Clinky coming a mile away, can't you?
Yep.
He'll put it on a show.
Getting ready on the start line, the RX8. Yes, Marcus Van Klink and Dave Neal. There it is, car 24. Watch this one. This will be spectacular.
Twin exhaust pipes, two-wheel drive, twin smokies, double pitch. I just dribble in my jeans.
Away goes Marcus Van Klink and Dave Neal.
Wow, that's got all the right noises. I'm not really a Rotary fan, but hey,
You're going to love that one.
you gotta love it. Oh, listen to that!
What a song.
Why don't we just come back tomorrow and do this again?
On the start line now, waiting for his turn. Former New Zealand Rally champion, multiple times, 4 times, Bruce Herbert and Bevan Parker.
Keep an eye on this Clinky's time here. Might actually be a new 2-wheel drive record. Breaks a record or not, that'll be fantastic music on a record, wouldn't it?
On the start line now, the 2 Seans, Sean Haggerty, Sean Sands from Rangiora for Sean Haggerty, Springston for Sean Sands, and the Subaru Impreza WRX car 26.
Got a bit of a sign of intent coming up here, Grant. We've got Frank Kelly lining up from Ireland in this beautifully prepared RSPDA Escort, and okay, he's got the tarmac tyres sitting on the front, the knobblies on the back. I'd say that's a clear intent of smoking those up. There won't be much left of them by the finish line, guaranteed. Clunky did a 141.9, not a record or the fastest 2-wheel drive today, but he gets points for the best sounds.
Well, it might be just about to come.
Okay, Frank, come on. I think he spent too much time going sideways, actually. That would be my call. Sequential gearbox all the way. I gotta stand up and watch this.
Frank's away dancing this car around the course.
That's turning it on.
Before he got here. Let's see what he does the second part. To put an even more of a show. There we go.
Frank will have warmed the tyres up now and himself.
Flick it right. Right. Left.
And off the line goes Anthony Jones and Tania Quinn in their Ford Escort car number 28.
Oh, beautiful!
Frank Kelly and Baby Blue
Poetry
puts on a
emotion.
great display.
Poetry emotion surrounded by the symphony of sound. How is that?
Look at it there. That's the break. There's a flick right there. Oh, what a show. Frank Kelly. Brilliant stuff.
That's what we're talking about.
Look him up on YouTube.
And off the start line now goes Brent Taylor and Chris Ramsey in the Toyota FT86. The Subaru powered Toyota. Brent from Cambridge, Chris Ramsey from Hamilton.
Doesn't sound like a Toyota, Grant, sorry to say. It just does not sound like a Toyota. Going alright though.
From Raglan and their Subaru Impreza STI.
Just look at the cars, they've got brothers, sisters, mothers, sons, it's fantastic. UK rally like it, you know, it's good state like this. The rally in the UK is good as this. Club rally is good as the national championship.
I've been to many rallies around the world, and I look at it my first day, you know, at the Otago, but I've known all about it for years. And really today is just the first. It is one of the
And of course the Jack Williamson Subaru that you see on the stage at the moment, car number 31, is the ex-Motor Image Possumbourne Motorsport APRC car that was actually driven by Hayden Paddon to win Otago Rally in 2011.
I think that's a bit Proto, is it? It's got the Mitsubishi motor? I'm not sure. That VW out there, that might have been Shannon Chambers' old car, is it? That brought into the country a couple of years ago. Probably needed to do more homework on that one, but hey, good to see a variety of cars, that is for sure.
On the start line, waiting to begin their super special stage, is David G and Liam G from Blenheim, Subaru Impreza WRX.
We have the Otago Rally here in New Zealand is totally done blind.
So away go the G's from Blenheim. As up to the start line comes Scott Jones and Shane Reynolds. And they're Mitsubishi Evo 8. Scott Jones from Pleasant Point, competing in both NZRC and the All-Comers. Off the start line goes Scott Jones and Shane Reynolds, car 35.
That's Phil Macquarie's Subaru Impreza sitting on the start line. That actually looks a bit of a serious sort of a car. I mean, hey, it's got a dog box. I saw it put it into gear and it did the big cluck and launched a couple of inches forward. It's left-hand drive. I think this thing's got some heritage that we don't know much about. More homework to be done.
The car 38, Bill McCormick. Loading their Impreza STI.
That's got to be out of Europe. Been left-hand drive. Dump the clutch on the tar seal.
You know what my favorite film is?
all you rally enthusiasts out there, a little bit of history for you, a little bit of a tip that today the late great Possum Bourne would have been 63 years old today. So happy birthday, Poss. We're all out here rallying for you. I'm sure he approved of today as a celebration for sure. So on the day of Possum Bourne's birthday, Rally Otago comes live to you from the Super Special Stage 8.
There goes Dave Strong, Bruce McKenzie, two of the old boys, grandfathers of the sport. God knows how many rallies he's done. If I've done 130, he must have done 300 or 400. That's amazing. How many rallies is that?
So here he comes, the little Honda Jazz comes around.
Dave Taylor from Marlborough with Jared Hudson, the Revo 7.
So on the start line, car 39, which is David Taylor and Jared Hudson, their Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. Waiting to start is Dave Strong, goes around one more time in the little Honda Jazz. We welcome you wherever you're watching the live streaming coverage from the MoMac team today, and just a reminder of course that all this coverage you're seeing over Otago Rally today and what will be coming tomorrow, the live stages, all coming courtesy of the MoMac team without any financial reward. So you will have seen the GoFundMe page at the bottom of your screen, and if you're able to make a donation towards the crew to cover the costs of putting on this magnificent live streaming today, your donation would be gratefully appreciated. So lining up on the start line now, you can see Mark Sheehan and Glenn Goldring and their Ford Fiesta R2. Unfortunately, it should have been Robbie and Amy Stokes heading off ahead of them, but they went off the road earlier today and have not made it here to the Super Stage, Special Stage 8 on the streets of Dunedin. Let's hope the car's not too damaged and Robbie and Amy can be back in action tomorrow. So Mike Sheehan and Glenn Goldring, Ford Fiesta R2 out on the stage.
Not too much luck for the Stokes Motorsport team today. Of course, the Fiesta AP4 car driven by Brendan Reeves unfortunately had an alternator problem, and son and daughter Robbie and Amy, unfortunately it sounds like it's a permanent retirement for the weekend, so a bit of accident damage possibly. A bit of a shame for the team. Bit of work for Brian.
On the start line, Mark Parsons and Darren McDonald. And another of the 6-cylinder Subaru Imprezas that have entered in this event, and we learned earlier today that in fact all of these 6-cylinder Subaru Imprezas have been built by Mark Smith at Magnum.
A bit of news for motorsport followers. Looks like Scott McLaughlin has gone quickest for qualifying race 9 at Phillip Island. Fabian Coulthard, another good Kiwi of course, is actually half a second behind. So good luck to the boys tomorrow. Oh sorry, later on today.
Wayne Pittams and Chris Davidson.
You just never get sick of that, do you?
Ford Escort Power. Wayne Pittams from Tauranga, Chris Davidson, and nice to see Wayne back competing in the historic part of the New Zealand Rally Championship with a very nicely built Ford Escort.
I'm going to be dreaming of BDA Escorts tonight. Singing and dancing in my head.
Be better than snoring. Alrighty, 49. Here's Gary Cliff and James on the start line, and another one of these Subaru. And welcome back to our live stream coverage here from Special Stage 8 on the streets of Dunedin. Now, apologies, a technical issue for the live streaming dropping out, but here we are back live and into the action on Special Stage 8.
Oh, well, you just missed out. Just missed it. A fantastic run by the V8 Commodore from Australia. The boys put on a bit of a show for the crowd, as you could admit. Bit of a V8 thing going on here, and I think they did better than, certainly did better than Whincup has done at Phillip Island, who's only qualified 17th. So, you know, your Holden fans got something to cheer about, because that was a great show.
On the start line now, car 57, Phil Thomas and Alex from USA. Ford Escort Mark II Duratec,
Which I'm pretty sure is the husband to Brendan Reeves co-driver.
I think you are absolutely correct.
It used to be Brendan Reeves' sister.
Correct. Oh, it's all a great family sport. Husband and wives, brothers and sisters. Sons and daughters. We're all here. Alrighty.
You've got some of the best drivers in the world, some of the best
There's Deborah Kibble, Tim Smith, star of the day in the Little We Started. This is his stepmother.
Great pictures of rallying around the world.
She'll be up in a couple of cars.
Working photographers that have been doing this for many, many years on WRC when we hosted the North Island. Deborah Kibble on the line now.
Oh, sorry, man. Overall times here if you want to.
Slotted into the Clublands field and the little escort. Jackson through the left-hander.
Okay, what times have you got there for us?
End of the day times.
So end of day times for leg 1, Hayden Patton and John Kennard in the Hyundai 120i AP4, and a total time of 1 hour 13 minutes 41.9. So 3 minutes and 5 seconds ahead of Dylan Turner and Malcolm Reid, who lead the New Zealand Championship components of this event, and they have 11.5 seconds over Ben Hunt in the Subaru Impreza WRX. Phil Campbell in the Ford Fiesta AP4 is in 4th place. He's 1 minute and 12 seconds behind Ben Hunt. The 5th place is held by Andrew Hawkswood in the Mazda 2 AP4, a further 1 minute 47 behind Phil Campbell. And then it's Jack Hawkswood in the 2nd of the Mazda 2 AP4s, and he's 46 seconds behind Father. The top 10 completed by Thomason in the Subaru Impreza WRX, Mats Otsberg in the Ford Escort 2-wheel drive, just 2 seconds behind from 7th place. Then it's Regan Ross, and Garrett Thomas is into the top 10 of Rally Otago. What an outstanding performance from Garrett. Derek Asen is 11th, and then we have Joe Quantock in the Skoda Fabia AP4 is in 12th place, a further 16 seconds behind Derek Asen. And that's the way the top dozen cars are looking here at the end of day 1 of Rally Otago.
Fantastic to see those 2-wheel drive classic cars in the mix of the top 10. That is incredible. I've got to say, they're still spinning the wheels, but talking about spinning the wheels, I've had a fantastic day. This has been just amazing.
And spinning the wheels off the start line was David and Jack Burkett from Leaston, and their Toyota Levin.
I'll tell you something, Grant, I think the quote of the day, I saw a little bit of sign writing on one of the lead cars. It went something like, the older I get, the faster I was. It's about what it's about when you're gentlemen rallying a classic Rally Otago.
On the start line, Brodie Anderson and Alana Grant, and their Ford Escort Mark II, car number 52.
Looked lovely last night, the Octagon.
Plenty of smoke from Brodie Anderson as he leaves the start line in the Ford Escort. As Gavin Reid from Invercargill with Josh Lancashire from Wallistown beside him, and the BMW 328 RS car 58.
And having a day like today when it comes to the weather.
Well, your BMWs should be pretty good on street circuit, shouldn't they? They've won a few in New Zealand.
There you go. Tarmac car. He's got the tarmac tyres on the front. Give him a bit of a turn and grip.
It's a pretty little car, isn't it? It really is. Almost too pretty to be a rally car. Should be on a circuit. And they're doing this rally blind too, so they got the little black signature there with a white cane. Stick there.
They topped it up with fuel. It's actually peeing out the fuel tank caps. Not sure why you'd put so much fuel in it for such a short stage, but maybe they just wanted the grip over the rear tyres.
They're going to lose some when they come around that corner, actually. What's going to happen there? Yeah. Look at it. And watch it here.
Okay, this BMW, it's actually got a lot of fuel.
Oh, yeah, there it goes. Look at that.
That's a lot of fuel coming out the fuel cap. Maybe they didn't put the fuel cap on.
Yeah, you never want to see that. You know, these fuel systems are very well contained. You never want to see fuel coming out of the cars, but as long as it's coming out and not leaking onto any hot parts, then we're okay. Needs to be a bit careful when they're stopping.
So around goes the BMW of Gavin Reid, and on the start line and off the start line chasing him is Brendan Wadsworth from Renwick with Quinn Blanchfield from Havelock. in the co-driver's seat, a little Suzuki Swift car number 64.
Some quite incredible performances going on that we don't really sort of, or haven't really acknowledged, but hey, car number 81, the V-Dub Polo that we were talking about earlier, he's actually 13th overall after the first day. That is a pretty good result for car number 81.
Indeed it is.
Hopefully it's not bad luck, number 13 start position tomorrow, but good on him.
No sponsorship on it, just straight out.
A couple of other good results, the Kellys from Ireland, 21st, and the fantastic Ford Escort.
Yeah, she's gone looking for a car and it's not in the garage.
Summerfield, unfortunately 30th. Lost about 10 minutes to Hayden Patton, unfortunately.
Off onto the stage now goes Kevin Lynch and Dean McCroskey. McCroskey from Milton in the Ford Fiesta as car 63 comes to the line. This is Paul Layup of Australia and Roger McNaughton in the Toyota Altezza RS 200.
I drive south Rally Otago and it's to be for the night and up right early tomorrow morning, and the cars will be heading north. The stage is up around Oamaru.
So coming to the closing stages here of special stage 8 on the streets of Dunedin, the third live streaming coverage location for the MoMac team today, and tomorrow heading back out onto the stages, 3 special stages, full field coverage tomorrow from the MoMac team. Of course, this is a voluntary operation with no financial reward, and so if you'd like to go to the GoFundMe page and make a donation towards the crew bringing this live stream coverage to you this weekend, please do so and leave a note. We'll be reading out some of those notes tomorrow, and it's great to have your support. Any donations, large or small, gratefully accepted. The GoFundMe page, as you'll see on the screen and also on the MoMac Facebook page. So, car 68 lining up. This is Raymond and Ryan Wilkinson from Invercargill, Toyota Torino. And of course you'll see a little sticker on the side of the car that has a walking cane symbol on it, which means these guys are competing blind, as rallies were done many years ago. No pace notes or notes being used by the Wilkinsons in the Toyota Torino, car number 68.
This is the Clubman's event, the all-comers. Having a wonderful day on the roads of central and southern Otago.
And lining up on the start line now is a car we haven't seen all day. This is the Toyota Corolla DX of Scott O'Donnell and Scotty Milne from Invercargill. Scotty had issues today, so did not start stage 2, but great to see him here for the super special this afternoon. Scotty O'Donnell from Invercargill, car 36. Of course, Scott O'Donnell has done a lot of circuit racing, in particular in Porsches and long distance races, so I'm sure Scott will feel completely at home here on the tarmac of the street stage here in Dunedin.
Bit of a battle between the front wheel drive Corolla and the rear wheel drive Corolla.
Jono Taylor from Waikuku. We look down, we've got a little Suzuki. Moving on up as well, it's the Japanese pairing of Kamicho Kondo.
So car number 70 coming to the start line.
From all around the world here.
And this is Andy Gillies from Arrowtown with Nathan Pilcher from Auckland in the co-driver's seat. And their Toyota Levin AE85. goes Scott O'Donnell. Around comes Andy Gillies as we wait on the start line to see car 73, Pat Dillon and Bruce Chisholm from Wanganui, and the Ford Escort Mexico entered in the all-comers B section of Rally Otago. And away they go, Pat Dillon gently off the start line, didn't want to break anything off the start line in the Ford Escort Mexico. Car 73 out onto the stage. As car 71 comes to the start line, and this is John O'Taylor and Ben Trevelyan from Prebleton and their Toyota Corolla in all-comers Class A. And this is a quick car for John O'Taylor, so good to see this car is out and on the stages today. John O'Taylor from Waikuku.
Little KE25 Corolla, another great breed of rally car. Had a KE20 myself. Marty Rostenberg started in the KE10, believe it or not, the very first Corolla.
John O'Taylor. Little Suzuki now. Followed the Taylors out of Japan.
There's our Japanese visitors, the condos.
Suzuki Swift.
Kondo and Kono.
Kondo and Kono.
74 will be
Car looks pretty straight. Geez, I bet they've had a ball out there today. The car's got New Zealand registration, so I guess they've leased it here. Don't really know a lot about them. Maybe a very fast tourist trip through the Dunedin district.
Off the start line. That's the bad once you get through there.
Nothing wrong with a Suzuki Swift for a rally car, is there?
We also had a Suzuki Swift one make race series
They did.
going back a year or
They
two.
did indeed.
All right, the rear.
Probably where these cars ended up from.
Here we go. Our Japanese bearing.
So away go our Japanese friends,
Moving up onto the
Kondo
line.
and Kono.
My favourite cars.
As up to the start line comes
The old East African
car
Safari
number
days.
74. This is Rex Ford from Cheviot and Gary Wilkinson from Christchurch in their Datsun 180B.
Also on $300,000.
Mike Wheatley of Auckland and their Ford Escort. Down to the last 5 or 6 cars now. So again, thank you to all
So
the
a
volunteers around.
good crowd has turned out here
This afternoon.
on the streets of Dunedin to watch the cars going through this stage, which has been a popular stage for many, many years. And we're getting down to the last few cars now.
Great to be able to call it for you. Otago Car Club.
So away goes car 74, Rex Ford and Gary Wilkinson in the car in the Datsun 180B. As car 75 comes up to the start line, Mike Wheatley and Phil Walker in the Ford Escort.
Yeah.
Now you might wonder why this is car 5, Brian. You can explain to us why it's numbered as 5? Or do you want me to help you?
Asia Pacific, yeah, well, that's
Doing the Asia Pacific
5 cars
Championship.
registered for the Asia Pacific Championship. Yeah, this is one of them.
one of our Chinese drivers this time. And right behind car 5 is Tony Quinn, the man who set up Highland Motorsport Park and of course Hampton Downs as well. We've seen him racing on the tracks in Australia, on the circuits. And now here he is, racing Otago Rally. So yes, car 5.
Mike Wheatley and Phil Walker in the Ford Escorts, car 75 out onto the course
Could
now
have been Archu.
Achoo!
as we wait for car 5.
Achoo!
which is Aaron Chew. What's this Chew business?
H2.
CS.
That's one of Brian Kelly's jokes. But he's stuck car number 5, and the reason being, of course, is he's actually entered in the Asia Pacific Rally Championship. So they gave him the number right up the top end of the field, but I guess his true setting in terms of performance is probably a little bit further down. And he's obviously entered in the Asia Pacific Championship, aiming to do the 2 rallies in New Zealand, 2 rallies in Australia. There's 2 in China and 2 in India. Is that correct? Somewhere over that part of the world.
Chew, gone.
Is that another little Fiesta?
And as the Chew car indeed heads away onto the special stage here in Dunedin, we see car number 59, Tony Quinn of Australia, lining up on the start line in the Toyota 86.
Tony Quinn needs no introduction to our Australian listeners, and that's a beautifully prepared car. He's done a lot for New Zealand motorsport. Obviously the owner of Highland Park and Cromwell, the owner of Hampton Downs near the Bombays. He's invested in us. We hope to pay him back by turning up to his shows. And it's great that he's down here spinning the tyres and gravel. What a great competitor, eh?
In Melbourne this weekend. Supercar Championship, Garth and Leanne and the competing in
So away goes Tony Quinn chasing the Chew.
He's going to lap Chew, and
He might chew him up.
Give me a shoe.
could be a shoe. Go, Brian. Love your work.
Here we are. So it looks like just 3 more cars to go. No, Tony hasn't got the Chew yet. Oh, yeah, they are side by side. Yep. Yeah, yes, he's got it.
When he saw it pass, eh?
Put on the power and go.
That's what you have to do here now.
Exactly. I've never done sort of a stage like this before on steel, so it's going to be a bit different. We'll just see how it goes.
Girl power. Girl power.
So around goes Tony Quinn. As off the start line goes 70.
Beamer's had a little bit of an issue.
79, the little Suzuki Swift of Ivan Asanda from the Philippines, and Dean Schroeder.
Interesting. Two girls, co-driver and driver, the only girl team in the whole rally. Great to see them out here.
So Defo Rourke from Christchurch, Brianna Little in the co-driver's seat, car 80, lining up.
Nice and straight. Good to see they made it through the first day. A lot of them didn't. They're still here. Got to give them points.
Big, strong and tough on the side of their car, and they're about to line it up in their little Corolla. Car 80. Let's see what DJ can do. She'll go right after the little Ignis. There we
So
go.
just
Righto, let it go. Go. DJ, give it a heat.
so away goes Daphne O'Rourke, car number 80, and our final competitor comes to the start line, which is car number 77. Paul Taylor and Richard Leggett. Paul Taylor from Lower Hutt and Richard Leggett from Porirua, and a BMW 535i V12. Get the V12 till last.
V12 baby, listen to this takeoff. Looks like they've had a bit of action today. Looks like they've taken on a fence post and almost a few battle scars in the right hand rear there. V12.
Yep.
Here we go.
V12 getting set to
Gonna
go.
wind the show up with some real good sounds.
V12.
Here we go.
Should have put the Commodore and them on the same track together. That would have been good. Okay, they're going to slot in right behind the girls.
Oh,
We're going to race on their hands.
smoking a bit.
V12 chasing 4.
A bit scary for the girls out there.
It's probably twice the weight of the little Corolla, but
And now the last 2 cars on
don't
the
be too
track,
hard on the
Dunedin.
2 girls.
gone quiet. The
Last
people
two
can't
cars
quite
out
get
on the
past
track.
Gilfowl. They'll try down here, down Sturdy Street. Putting the pressure on.
Oh.
Looking the inside line, can't do it. Give it a little nudge. No.
The girls are not yielding.
Oh, they're putting on a
You
good
don't really
show.
need
They'll
to
finish
be
to
12 power for
completeness lap.
rallying, do you? You
BMW's
can do it
got
in a
one
little
more
week
lap to
roll.
go. But again, it's all gone quiet on the western front.
A relief for the ears. It's been 2.5 hours of fabulous entertainment, you know.
Colin, big thank you to you. Thank you for, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you for helping out today.
It's been an absolute joy, I'd have to say. I've been out at the end of the opening stage, in the middle of the wonderful series stage, and now here on this super special stage.
So here we are, the live stream commentary from MoMac is about to wind down
It's great to have
on
you
the streets
here. Thank
of
you for coming
Dunedin.
out today. They're back in Dunedin at 3 tomorrow afternoon for the ceremonial finish. Heading up to Oamaru tomorrow if you want to go and see them up there. Thanks for coming out. Thanks again to all the volunteers. Have a good night and we'll see you tomorrow.
So Def goes around for her first full lap, second full lap, and heading towards the finish line.
Bringing coverage from
Defo
where tomorrow,
Rock.
Grant?
And our coverage tomorrow will be coming from special stage. Looking around for a bit of instruction here.
Coverage tomorrow?
Special stage 9 tomorrow. The coverage will be live streamed the entire field, and the also special stage 12 and and then finally we'll be at the end of the rally special stage 15. So all the times you'll see on the live streaming post, but special stage 9, which is Windsor 1, 25 kilometres long, starts at 7:35 in the morning, and then we head to special stage 12. Well, we stay in special stage 9, which then becomes special stage 12 for the second pass through Windsor at 10:40, and then we go to Golden Bar, the final stage of the Drive South Rally Fest for 2019, special stage 15, and that gets underway at 2:05, a long 30 kilometre stage to finish the rally. So no doubt plenty of action will happen at the very last stage of the rally this year. Well, Ross, it's been a great day's entertainment out on the stages and here on the streets of Dunedin.
Fabulous day's entertainment, absolutely amazing. We've had a great day. Hasn't rained today, did last night of course at the ceremonial start, but looks like a bit of weather might be heading our way tomorrow. We hope we don't get wet and too cold, but we're looking forward to it, come what may. Been a fantastic day so far, could be a fantastic weekend.
Indeed, and our thanks to the MoMac team on the cameras, Todd, Isaac and James, Ryan the producer, to Chucky for the live stream editing, and for Tony for keeping the show on the road today. Apologies for the live streaming dropping out during this particular stage, but we're back up live and running, and that concludes our coverage from the team today. You will see the GoFundMe slogan on the bottom of the live stream, and if you'd like to support the team that is bringing you this live streaming coverage, of course getting no financial gain apart from the donations that you folk can give us to keep this live streaming coverage coming through the 2 days of the 2019 Drive South Rally Fest. On behalf of the MoMac team, thank you for joining our live streaming coverage this afternoon. On behalf of Ross Meekings, Grant McDonald, wishing you a very good afternoon.